This radio is powered by Streamline, the superior internet radio hosting service that provides our SOCAN license coverage. Visit streamline.com for more.
Like confetti in a windstorm.
Welcome to Story to Screen here on KPEO World Community Radio, where we're rocking the film world each week on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go online, download the app, and listen in weekly with new guests and music, or catch the replay on wearestarfish.org. This is Story to Screen, and I'm your host, Eric Krefeld. Let's dive in.
On the boulevard,
Hey everybody, it's Eric. I am here, Story to Screen with Peter Hitchcock. This guy, he's got a great story to tell, and so we're going to jump right in. Peter, can you give me just an introduction, tell me a little bit about your film, and we're going to dig into you and everything you're working on.
Oh, okay. I love talking about myself, of course, right? But I started as a child actor because I used to stutter, and so after that, I went to this school for actors, and I got sent out to work as an extra in various feature films and things like that when I was 10. And I decided that was it. I was going to work in the film industry. And at 15, I left school and I became an apprentice projectionist and in a cinema. And went to college for 1 day a week type of thing, and I got a job in a film studio, which made Stingray and Thunderbird. Some people might know about this puppet special effects TV series. It was quite popular in England, and I think it's popular around the world now. It's Stingray and Thunderbirds, and I worked there as a projectionist, and I had to move the puppets' mouths by a lip sync operating machine. And then I got involved in miniature special effects. And I got sort of bored of all this stuff. And it was like inside, could never see outside, inside the studio. And I decided I want to travel. So I came to Canada, and I arrived in Toronto in Yorkville in 1967. And Yorkville is a kind of a beatnik coffee house place that was just perfect for me because, when I was younger, at like 15, I used to go and see the Rolling Stones, right? And we had coffee bars and stuff like that. And I used to go and see folk clubs. And one of the reasons for me involving music in the film is that I used to run a couple of folk clubs in my spare time. And I booked people like Paul Simon for £20. And so I'm kind of going backwards and forwards in my time here. Sorry, but I came to Yorkville, and I started to make films there, and I worked for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, TV commercials, opened a photo studio, and things like that. And so I'm now going forward massively into the end of my career type of thing, and I wanted to make a feature film. And so the idea of what do you do to make a feature film and make people like it? And the idea was what happens when you meet your long lost lover from 50 years ago, right? And so that was the premise. And so I thought, Yorkville was a great place to do it. And so I had the whole film sort of opening up around a coffee bar where a young folk singer from England would actually come in and start playing and start having a relationship with this guy and everything. And through a couple of the years, it all went a little crazy, all the drugs and all that terrible thing. And this guy that she was in love with was an American draft dodger. And so he was a bit uptight about everything. And so he went off to go and find himself in Asia, right? And so I now cut into the present day when she finds him busking again. So he's come back and he's busking, and she now has to decide what to do with him and things like that. So it's one of those kind of like love stories, and a lot of folk music or music in general. And I managed to get one of the lead singers of this band that I knew in Yorkville. I mean, Yorkville had a lot of blues going on, right? And so, and he said sure, but it took me about 6 months to cast, to try to find all the people. That was very, very complicated because it's 2 time periods, and there's a lot of work done just in preparing for it, and it took me a while to write the script. And so I've now presented myself with, okay, now I've got this film made, and I actually had to get it distributed, and I've been able to successfully do that. And right now, it's on Prime in the US and in Britain, and it's on a whole bunch like Tubi and all these other streaming. Like I just hit the timing right. And
it's on everything. Tubi, Roku, all of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now I'm going, well. So I'm still not seeing a great deal of money coming in, but I'm just glad that my film is being seen, for one thing, right? And people appreciate it. So that's it in a nutshell. Yeah,
absolutely, man. No, that's a great lead in. Thank you. So you fell in love, obviously, with film at a very young age, and never really parted from it. You just continued on in the film world for your whole life.
Yeah, of course, you have to make a living, and I had twins, right, which is a little bit of a problem, right? And then we moved up to Ottawa, and I had a farmhouse I rented with some chickens and that was kind of cool. And we got to a point where we said, well, we're getting a bit bored in Ottawa. It's the government and stuff like that. So I was making films for, went over to the Middle East and filmed over there, and after the 6-Day War in Israel and stuff like that. And I was doing quite well making these kind of promotional films and things like that. So this friend of mine, he was going to get married down in Hollywood. And he was a writer. I said, well, that sounds kind of nice. I wouldn't mind going too. So my wife luckily agreed, and I packed up the car with my typewriter and kettle and things like that. And I went across the border, and I drove all the way down to Hollywood. Wow. I found a little place in Venice and flew the kids down with about 22 boxes of our stuff, right, And I started working, and the first job I got was working on the Hills of Eyes, and so I was doing sound for that, and just one job after another. And I was mainly editing, so just like major movies, expensive movies that bombed actually. Well, one was called Roar with Tippi Hedren, and Jan de Bont was the cameraman who directed Speed, and it was a film all about lions, and the crew was actually getting hurt and stuff like that, right? And so I decided to leave from there, and I came back to Canada, all the way up the West Coast and into Vancouver, up into the mountains, and came back to Toronto, and suddenly had to get work. But I've been making a lot. Most of my money's been made making promotional films, and I did a lot of directing and producing for television here, like educational television. And I made a series on actually making videos that was really, really successful. I went on to PBS, and I wrote a book and stuff like that. It's like, what do you do when you're out of work and you go, well, what do I know? So I'll make a film about what I know, right? And so, it's a survival, man, right?
Absolutely, man. That's what drives it. Is just, you gotta survive doing this. So
yeah. And so that actually was quite profitable for me, and so I ended up doing a lot of really expensive corporate productions, like $500,000 budgets for 15 minutes back then was quite a good amount of money to have to make a film. And so I was at this point in life where I was sort of sitting around trying to figure out, well, I've done all this film work and stuff like that, but what would I like to make? And so you could get to a point in your life where you actually get control of it. Yes. And that's what I did with this film, and so
awesome. Hold that thought right there, because we're gonna jump off and we're gonna take a look at your trailer so everybody gets to see that real quick. And
great.
And then I want to get to talking really dig in a little bit to your film. So let's take a real quick break. We'll do a station identification, and then we'll watch the trailer, and we'll come right back. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Great, super.
I was the lonely one, a wanderer from the wars. Deafening sounds of life so squandered.
It's Tom. He lives in a shelter.
After
all these years.
Come to this place of love, a heart to
Tom and I wrote that song.
trust.
It's beautiful. I thought Yorkville was the perfect place for me to visit and play my music, learn.
So, how long you been playing?
I was playing in some folk clubs back home, but I heard Yorkville was a hot place for music.
My best friend, he turned into a lover.
I'm from San Francisco, where it's cool.
Are you a draft dodger?
Yeah.
The lovers. This card represents your future. So, what might that mean?
Romance. Sexual desire.
Do you sell grass here?
No.
Yorkville is my home now, and I'd much rather live here.
Shades of doom on the nightly news.
Your mom and I have been worried sick.
And all
The military police have been here looking for you.
Canada is home for now. No, I won't kill him for you. Change is coming. I just want to say we're going to overcome everybody. There's something there. I know it.
Tom, look, there's something here.
I know you. Girl in my dreams. Special place.
Yorkville.
You'll wander carefree all through a song. The magic stars will sing along. And when you're old, the memories will come back warm to set you free.
Hey, everybody, back from that awesome film trailer. A story for us from Mr. Peter Hitchcock, who's with us today talking about his film. Peter, you've obviously had a long, successful career with filmmaking. What made you decide that you needed to make your own film?
I think it was I've been longing to make a feature film, but I've had to survive, and I've had to feed the family and things like that. So corporate films or educational films, whatever, was the way that I was making my bread and butter. But at this point in my life, I had enough money to actually fund it myself. Sure. And so that's a really nice feeling, right? And I thought, well, my days are kind of numbered going off working for people and things like that, and let's see if I can do it. And that was really the impetus for starting this whole thing, is that, well, I've always wanted to make a feature film.
Why this story, a lost love story? Where did that come from in you? Most of the filmmakers that I talk to that have, written their own scripts, because obviously some filmmakers pull in scripts from other people, but the ones that wrote their own scripts, there's something that drives that story. So can you talk to me a little bit about what drove that story for you?
Well, I think it was the ingredients of my life. I used to, write music and stuff like that, and play the guitar. I have to relearn that, by the way. But I wanted to do something that I think would speak to my generation. And my generation was the 60s, was the hippies, where there was a completely different period of thinking back then. We were all banner bombers, right? I went on the Aldermaston March in England, heard Joe Byers sing in Trafalgar Square. We were all trying to make it a better world. And, I liked that period back then. And I really do miss it. And I think this film sort of brought out those kinds of feelings of what of what the 60s really meant. And I figured that, well, there's a lot of films out there for younger people, but not for older people so much, right? You know, I do like a lot of different kinds of movies, but this actually spoke about our history and our life, you know, for those people who are into that kind of music. Actually, music was carrying the whole story back in those days, right? You know, and I thought that it was for my crowd, it's for my group, you know, and I sort of like it was like a way of just saying to the world, well, you know, wouldn't it be nice to be more peaceful, right? You know.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah.
You know, and so again, with We Are Starfish, you know, one of the things that we're always constantly looking to do is create opportunities for young people to help them heal through the things they're working through. And yes, you know, unfortunately, right now, the kids that are growing up in this era currently are all dealing with a not so peaceful time. So I think that's one of the things that really, you know, really interested me about your story, your film, is it's very reminiscent of, in some ways, what we're going through right now, and at the same time brings a little bit of hope to the idea that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel, that we can find a way to right the ship and correct all the discord between everybody, and come out just a little happier on the other side. So, you know, would you agree that in any way for you, telling this story helped you to work through whatever kind of feelings you're dealing with where you've been, where you've come from, and where you're at now?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that this is the way I've lived, and the music that I've really loved. So yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, and so, you know, speaking of music, yes, yeah, we've got, you know, a musician that we're going to be airing in this show as well, that's going to have some original music they play, and we've got, you know, just hundreds of musicians that we're working with regularly as well. So how about in the future? Like, is there another project in the works for you yet? Have you sunk your teeth into anything else? Do you expect to be doing more?
I hope so. I really do, because I just like to. Well, you see my basement. I got to clean my basement out. It's really messy because I haven't stopped. I've been working on this film for many years now. Right? It's like this is one project. But yeah, I hope to continue to still make a film. I could still, my brain is still working, and that's about part of the problem of getting old, is that you start to worry a bit about your memory, right? You know.
Sure.
So, you know, I'm still managing to edit on a computer. I can see that I'm totally overexposed here, that I should have probably brought down the light for my screen here. But yeah, it helps to have a project. It helps be creative.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that, you know, we try to push forward for young people, is that if we can put creativity and creative projects in front of these young people regularly, maybe it helps keep a little bit of the destructive tendencies away from our world.
Well, it's affordable now to go and make a film with an iPhone, right? You know,
sure.
Getting it seen on YouTube is easy, you know. So that's fine. You can do all of that. It's making a living. That's a trick, right? You know.
Well, it's time consuming. Yeah, making a living and still pushing forward those creative ideas it's a difficult. You just have to keep toggling back and forth, because the creative ideas don't often pay well. But you know, we're driven to do those. We're creative beings, so we can't help but tell those stories. Future plans for you. You know, we've got, man, I mean, just like I said, 100, from Maria Wade to Diego Mung to Tyron to there's Carlene Thyssen. You know, I could just name names for the next hour. There's all these musicians that we have available now through this show that, you know, when you're ready, man, I would love to, you know, reach out again to you, to, you know, feel free to reach out to me as you start digging in and writing something else.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
That's cool.
let us know, man.
I have to tell you just a little history is that my family is it's all musical, right? You know, my grandfather used to write songs and perform in a troupe in Liverpool.
Wow.
And my mother was a singer. She remarried and married a guy that was a composer for Charlie Chaplin, and he wrote music for Charlie Chaplin for 20 years.
Wow.
And my sons are both classical musicians, oboe and French horn. I don't know. I'm a bit of a rock and roller, so I'm kind of surprised. But that was a school that they went to that suddenly turned them onto
Right.
this, and they're both playing in orchestras and opera and stuff like that right now. So and because of my past with my folk clubs, you know, booking people and things like that, you know. You might not know some of the musicians in England, like John Renville and Bert Jansch and all those people, but they were really cool musicians. And in actual fact, my best friend when I was 10 had a big blues band in France called the John Dummer Blues Band, and it's him that taught me of all the problems of what was going on in the States. And you know, with the black problem and things like that. And we didn't know about things like that back then when we were younger.
Sure.
And so him and I would be talking about the blues, and you know, my first album was Dylan's album, but then he turned me onto the blues. So we were all kind of like into the blues. So yeah, music is my life, really. I mean, I love it. I just if I can play my guitar again and sing again, that'd be really cool. I would like to do that too, you know. But yeah,
Right.
I certainly like to talk to all kinds of different musicians and.
Awesome. Well, Rudy is the artist that'll be in this one, and Rudy, you know, I believe he's from Austria or Germany. I can never remember. He comes over here into the States a few months out of the year and hangs out in Florida a bit, performs live still out in Florida. Just an amazing musician. I think you're going to dig a lot of his music. And so, yeah, you'll be connected to him through this show. And then, you know, obviously, like I said, all the other musicians that we've worked with, and we're covering everything from folk to rock and roll to like metal rock to country to jazz to blues. We got a little bit of everybody in here. So it's all exciting stuff. And I hope you do create something else. I'm looking for this one that you've already done. I think it's brilliant. And I hope to see more from you, my friend. And we'll stay in touch.
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you.
I'm excited to see what else you have for the world, Peter.
Oh, that's nice, because I'm just all alone here, just working away, right? You know, and just using the internet. But yeah, that kind of inspiration is really good. You know, I'm getting on now, so but I don't want to stop, right? You know.
Well, I think you've got a lot left in you still. So I'm looking forward to hearing and seeing all of it.
Oh, great. Great, yeah. Well, I'm gonna see what happens. I mean, this has just started off with what happens when you meet your long lost lover, right? You know, and that was it. And
yes,
and then all these people I had to cast. That's really difficult trying to cast.
It is.
You're right. And
people don't understand, you know, that sometimes, you know, it does very likely take years, especially when you're budgeting your own film. You know, people don't understand that when you're putting your own money into it, and yes, you're still trying to make a living and pay your bills, put your own money into your film, then budgeting that money, it can take years to put it all together to the point where you can even start editing, and then it can be years in editing as well. So
yeah, and a big bombshell was that once people put my movie up, how do they know where to find it? And that's a big trick, you know. So, you have to pay for advertising, and advertising can be really expensive, right? You know,
yes.
So I've been sort of like doing it on the cheap, right? You know.
I think we all try to do that, and you know, that's kind of where we try to come in and help too, and try to, you know, we've got a large network and a great group of people, and so, you know, what we do is just start helping, jump up and down and scream about what you're doing, because what you're doing is good stuff. It's a lot of opportunities for a lot of young people, And
there sure is right now with all this streaming platform. Whether you make money, it's another thing, right? You know.
Sure. It's some great storytelling too. So we definitely appreciate the art and the creativity of it all. And you've just done an amazing job at putting an amazing story together and sharing it with the world. And so we're excited to help be a part of it.
Oh, that's great. Great. Really appreciate that.
All right, Peter, we are going to kick and run because we've got to get over to Rudy and make sure we get to listen to some of his music. And we will definitely check back in with you. And like I said, reach out anytime. I'd love to hear more about what you start working on as well.
Great. Now, will I be able to watch this? Or?
Oh, absolutely. When we air it, we will tag you in it so that you can watch it all.
Great.
Can you tell everybody how to find you and how to find your film just quickly? And I'll make sure we add that in the tags too.
Oh, great. Well, it's www.asongforus.com. And my name's Peter Hitchcock, and I'm on Facebook, places like that. People can write to me. It's quite easy to find. And I've got a website, of course, on Facebook too as well. So I can send. I think I sent you the link, but I'll try and make sure I send it to you.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
You'll have that as a good reference. And there's so much creativity going on right now, and I think that's really going to help everybody, right? You know, so it's just a matter of just getting people paid, I think. You know.
Or finding a way. You know, if we can't find a way to make creativity something that can pay, then we need to find a way to bring what costs down so that people can afford to be creative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or some combination of the two. I don't know. I'm not a politician, and I'm not I don't make the rules. I know what I see day after day, and it just seems to me that somehow we have to bring the level of what it takes to be here down so that people have time to be creative and time to be family people and time to have relationships, and possibly make it a little more affordable to be a creative for everyone, not just for a couple.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But all this technology now is amazing. I mean, I could talk to you, right? You know, and it's like
right. Yeah, levels the playing
field.
I can
put my movie up on the internet, and there's all kinds of opportunities. So it's good to stay positive right now.
Amen, brother. On that note, we are going to jump over to the music side of things, and it's been a pleasure talking to you, Peter. Wish you very well in all of your endeavors, and we're looking forward to seeing more from you.
Great. Oh, thanks a lot, Eric, and rock on.
We've got some amazing talent in this room, and I really want to introduce this guy, Rudy and Greg. They're kind of a team. They collaborate together. I'm going to let you guys tell the story a little about who you are and how you know each other, and then we'll dig right into everything. So how do you introduce yourself, how you want to be named, and let everybody know a little bit about who you are?
Yeah, my name is Rudy Biber. I'm original from Vienna, Austria, and I'm making music since my 6 years. Well, 6 years. When I was 6 years old, I started, and I do this for my whole life, I can say, and I like to do it. So I found Greg when he came to Vienna, and we joined, and we tried to do something new, what we haven't done before.
Yeah. So I'm Greg DeClue. I'm from the USA. I'm a forensic psychologist. So my training involves looking at the dark side of human nature and also justice. Whatever's going on, everybody deserves a fair trial, trying to get things straight. But over the course of more than 40 years, I have heard so many stories and of all kinds. And so in my recollections, I have some things that are fun, some things that are not so fun, and I have that. And so now I write some lyrics, and Rudy is putting some music to it. We're just beginning that process over the last few months. And so today, I think that everybody will hear Rudy's music, which is wonderful. That's what part of what drew me to him, besides he's a great guy. And then down the road, maybe a few months, we'll have some from our collaboration.
Awesome. No, that's great. And it'd be awesome to even bring you guys back onto the show again later on and get some of the collaborative music together. Because one of the other cool things about this is, as we do this show, your music gets played during the show, but then it gets put into regular rotation on KPEO Radio, which is the show, the station that this show gets played on. And when that happens, it goes into regular rotation on the radio, which means now you start getting paid royalties for your music through the radio because it's getting played regularly on live radio, which is, again, it's one of the things that we try to do is help artists make money. Because, to be honest, like we know, we understand that, you guys spend your whole lives doing what you do, creating songs, creating music, creating things that are enjoyable to everyone. And sometimes that financial road is a real struggle. So anything we can do to help make sure that you receive royalties on your music is something we're always trying to do. And it's a question that we throw back at the filmmakers a lot too, because that's another way that you can start making money off your music is by getting it in that film world, getting it on TV, getting it in a commercial, getting it on a film. Have either one of you guys had any success yet in getting into that arena with your music?
Yeah, that's important to make some from all that you put your whole heart in this stuff, and you should generate something out of this. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, man, absolutely.
Yeah.
I got to ask you about Slave to Love.
I don't wanna be alone tonight, wondering who you're with, but that's alright. It's the story of my life, to do a good deed every day. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. It takes a woman like you to love a man like me. If you're not somebody's girl, come on and set me free. I need your love so bad, I'm glad to be alive. I'm a slave to love, but that's alright. Have you ever been lonely? It was yesterday, and yesterday is gone. 4 days and 4 nights, that's all you need to make it right. Close your eyes and think of me. My love comes in every color. Taste my kiss and swallow it. It's the story of my life, to do a good deed every day. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. It takes a woman like you to love a man like me. If you're not somebody's girl, come on and set me free. The waiting is over. You saddled that horse, now you have to ride it. Have you ever been lonely? That was yesterday, and yesterday is gone. 4 days and 4 nights, that's all you need to make it right. Have you ever been lonely? That was yesterday, and yesterday is gone. 4 days and 4 nights, that's all you need to make it right.
listening to that earlier. Tell me about that song. Where does that song come from? From the sound of it to the words? Like, where? Tell me the story of that song.
Yeah, the story is I lived here in Florida for about 12 years. It was in the 90s, and with my ex-wife, I run a little restaurant there, and at night I was going to play in the clubs, and when it financially got worse at the end of the 90s, we ran into some problems. And you know, it's as it is when you run into some problems, you also have get in trouble sometimes with your companion. So with my wife, and we split up. Yeah. So then I had to go back to Austria, which I never thought I had to go back. I was here to stay here in Florida for the rest of my life, but at this time it didn't happen because I couldn't afford it. So I had to go back to Austria, and then I was there on my own. My wife, my divorced wife, she was here in Florida. My kids were here, and I actually found a new partner, which is Manuela. I'm married to her now, and I put all my
beautiful lady, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I put everything in this song. That what my feelings I had for her. That's the "Slave to Love" song. Yeah, that's about it.
Yes, she's a beautiful lady.
That's what the song is all about. Yeah.
Awesome, love it. So, Greg, you know, with collaborating with you, are we expecting to see some psychological twists a little? Like, tell me like story wise how what you're doing is going to fit in with what Rudy's doing.
So when Rudy and I met, it was at a blues club in Vienna called Der Reigen.
Der
Reigen. We both showed up to hear a band called the Mojo Monkeys. Rudy knew them already, and not me. I was just looking for some good music, and we met and started talking, and got together a couple more times. And at some point, he asked, "Do you play an instrument?" No, and then I said, kind of shyly, "Well, I do write, you know, what could be lyrics for a song sometime, but nobody's been interested yet." And Rudy said, "Well, I'll try it." So I read him a couple things. He liked them. I never write a song that comes directly from a case that I work on. I have currently cases of people on death row. I have cases involving child molestation, rape, some of the most horrible things that people allegedly do. And some of them are guilty and some of them are not. So I don't write directly about those people and their cases because that's their business. But of course, when I work on a case, my mind has to go into darker places. And then when I start playing with words and writing a song, sometimes it's all light and it's fun and it's just rhymes and it's a fun time. But other times, here's this dark stuff coming up. And I think the best times, the ones I like the most, are when somehow that gets combined, where you both feel the dark side, but there's something else too. And when that all works, and then if it comes with music that joins with it, then you have an experience that's not exactly confusing. I could say it's a little complex. It involves more than just one emotion.
Absolutely. No, I love that. I mean, again, you know, this whole show is based on a 501c3, a foundation called wearestarfish.org. And the whole premise here is that, you know, there are kids out there that are growing up in very traumatic situations. Terrible things are happening to families, to young children, to young people. And when those things happen, sometimes that carries over to even worse things happening. Our concept is basically that if we could teach some of those kids, those young people, to use the creative arts to unleash some of that stuff they're working through, that it would help them. It would help them to heal, and it would help them to become the people that we need them to be to lead this country into a better place.
I love that. I love that.
Exactly what you're saying is I mean, that's what we do here at this show. Is that's why we want to be able to bring young people into these opportunities, is so that they can learn from you that, yes, sometimes terrible things happen, and this process helps me get through those terrible things so that now I can move forward and I can give somebody else a hand up and help them through whatever they're dealing with.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I admire, that you guys have done a lot with the creative arts, in both respects. And those things are we'll touch more on that in a minute. We'll come back. We're going to take a break. We're going to listen to a little bit of Rudy's music, and then we'll come right back and have some more interesting psychological discussions about music. All right. Catch you guys on the flip side.
He's running his finger round the rim of his glass. He's a lot messed up, drinking too fast. Pour me another of Mexican's best, 'cause she ain't as gone as she's gonna get. A little bit of salt and another lime, get him through the lonely nights. He's going through a bad time with no feelings at all. He will take love with a grain of salt. Her face is still there in the back of his mind. He's clearing that picture one shot at a time. There aren't many choices when love comes apart. Rather having an aching head than an aching heart. A little bit of salt and another lime, get him through the lonely nights. He's going through a bad time with no feelings at all. He will take love with a grain of salt. There is always a tomorrow to do things right. There's a temporary fix going down tonight. Going down tonight. He's running his finger round the rim of his glass. He's a lot messed up, drinking too fast. Pour me another of Mexican's best, 'cause she ain't as gone as she's gonna get. A little bit of salt and another lime, get him through the lonely nights. He's going through a bad time with no feelings at all. He will take love with a grain of salt. Her face is still there in the back of his mind. He's clearing that picture one shot at a time. There aren't many choices when love comes apart. Rather having an aching head than an aching heart. A little bit of salt and another lime, get him through the lonely nights. He's going through a bad time with no feelings at all. He will take love with a grain of salt.
Hey there, changemakers. Imagine a world where every small act creates a ripple of impact. At wearestarfish.org, we're turning dreams of a better tomorrow into reality. Join our global community of starfish where every person like you is a catalyst for positive change. Whether it's empowering education, environmental stewardship, or supporting local communities, we believe in the power of every individual to make a difference. Visit wearestarfish.org today and discover how you can be a part of the wave of change. Wearestarfish.org, because each one matters.
All right, guys, we're back here. Story to Screen. Once again, I've got Rudy and Greg here, and it's been a lively, exciting discussion already. And, we've got a little bit more time to really kind of dig into what they're doing here. So, they're into this new collaboration now. Your visit here, is this something you always do and you're just going to use that time now to work with Greg? What are you guys doing here together now?
Yeah, we already started about 3 months ago. We started with the first songs. He gave me the lyrics, and I did some music to it. Then I sent it to him and to have his approve from him if it's okay. Because in the meantime, in the years ago, I had to do the music in my German language, which I didn't have any help with the lyrics. So when I found Greg and he said he gonna do the lyrics, that was really something for me. Yeah, that meant really something to me. So I was happy when he sent me the first. In the meantime, I think we have already, don't know how much, 25 or 30 lyrics sitting here waiting for the music. And as I said, I have already 3 or 4 done in a demo version. And here, when I'm here now for the next 2 months, we can work a lot and bring things together so that we can finish it over the summer. I think it will be able to have some music done in the fall. Yeah. Then we will put it on we will make a whole album. Yeah, a CD, probably also LP.
Awesome.
That's what we're working on.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's incredible. I can't. That's so cool that you've got so much.
So when we have that much lyrics now, we can pick out afterwards the best one. What we found. Maybe we're looking for 10 or 12 songs that we will put on the record.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So some of the things that start out as lyrics, sure. I might think, well, I love this poem, it's great, but it might not really work as a song. Mm-hmm. And we're basically doing blues songs. There may be some variety to which direction it goes. A certain song the words may say, oh, let's do it this way. And so maybe it'll be Cajun, maybe it'll be reggae, but I think blues for both of us is our home.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And so I write what catches my imagination. I send it to Rudy, and I read it before I send it to him because, again, with the English is not his Muttersprache, as his mother language. Yeah. So he hears it in English. He listens to blues all the time, plays blues. And so he can see from the lyrics, which direction can this go? Where do we go with this? Then I might write a song. One is about after the hurricane, which being from Florida and that's one that Rudy has done a rough cut of. Mm-hmm. And so then I'll hear the song. The rhythm might be a little different than I imagined. And then we talk together and which way do we want to go with this? Yeah.
Yeah, I also have a really
awesome.
Nice.
Well, I'm excited to have you guys back playing together.
Pardon? Haven't heard you yet. It's stopping.
Oh, I was saying I'm really excited to have you guys back when I can hear the music together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, we'd love to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, what I wanted to say also is that I have a really nice band together in Vienna now, which I play a lot of live gigs. Actually, now just all cover songs, but that will change later in the year. because when we will finish, we will try to build and to write the songs here in Florida. And when it's done, we will record it with the band in Austria. So it's a real life recording. Here we will do it now on the computer to make it like a setup.
Yeah.
And then in Austria, we will record the best songs. We decided which one is the best. We take them and put them, make them with the band.
I would like to say that and tell people for those of you who have not yet been to Austria, there is a really good blues scene in Austria. Of course, much is in Vienna because it's the largest city, but I've been to blues concerts there in castle ruins. So Rapattenstein is one of the old castles where kings used to live. And you have the ruins that are actually 1,000 years old in some cases, and the building is still there, and they have blues concerts there. They fill the courtyard with people, the band plays, the music is very high quality with good sound system, and it's a lot of fun to go into a different environment and relive in a place where humans did something 1,000 years ago, and now we're bringing what we love is the blues, and me as a audience member so far, and Rudy playing. It's just wonderful.
So I want to ask you guys one more. I want to ask about Yes We Can, because I want to hear about that song specifically also. But I want you guys to tell us, how do we get in touch with you? Once this goes live, it goes on air, it hits the radio, it hits the internet. I want people to know how to find you if you want to be found. So if you want to be found, how do they find you? Good deal. What about Facebook? Are you guys going to stay active on Facebook together?
We haven't done that yet. Maybe that comes later.
Yeah. It's I'm as Rudy Biber. I'm on all.
Fair enough.
I'm on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. But we will do something now together also.
Yeah. And let me just say that while we have an interesting project in the works that we've talked about some today, Rudy has been doing music for decades, and he has CDs. He has. Does live shows in Europe, and so right now at biberrudy.com you can find the CDs and the music and hear it, and it's great. Later on we'll have something new, and you'll be able to link to it from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
That's right.
So Rudy, quickly before we go, can you tell me a little bit about your song "Yes We Can"? Because that one's got a big name, so I want to hear what that's all about.
What is
it? Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
It was at this time when there were the
Obama, or
it was about Obama at this time, because the songs I gave you, because you said you wanted originals, and they also had to be in English. I'm already have now out 10 CDs. But most of them are either live CDs, from which all has just cover music, or it is in German. So I picked the one which has the originals and in English, which is about 8 or 9 years old now, and it was at this time. So it's about the story of Obama.
All right. Yeah.
Anything left you guys want to add before we take off?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to join in. I'm glad to see and hear what you're doing, and we're really glad to be a part of it. And I love the idea of opening up doors for younger people, go into the arts, music, film. This is wonderful. So I'm really glad with what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm also in a group in Austria which has about the same spirit you gave to the new people. We support them, and if they need help, we help them in Austria too, in the same way as you like to do.
Yeah, I've seen when I go to blues concerts, I've seen sometimes when the headliner, the musician, is playing, doing a wonderful job, comes over, oh Rudy, how you doing? Here, play a little, because this is somebody that Rudy might have helped earlier, and we see the people who actually do become not just people who love the music, but actually perform and headline. And so the doors open, you keep working, opportunities may come.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you both. Appreciate you guys taking the time to be with us today. Tell your stories, share your music, and looking forward to having you both on this again later on, when we can hear some of the music that you collaborate together.
On the world, we can make it happen. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And if we can see, we can make it happen. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can't change the world, but we can change ourselves. Yes, we can. Every problem, there's a solution. A must-win situation. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So listen to your heart and find the answer. A man's got to do what he has to do. Don't turn your back on the world. We can make it happen. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And if we can see, we can make it happen. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can't change the world, but we can change ourselves. Yes, we can.
This radio is powered by Streamlion, the superior internet radio hosting service that provides our SOCAN license coverage. Visit streamlion.com for more.
Hey there, changemakers. Imagine a world where every small act creates a ripple of impact. At wearestarfish.org, we're turning dreams of a better tomorrow into reality. Join our global community of starfish where every person like you is a catalyst for positive change. Whether it's empowering education, environmental stewardship, or supporting local communities, we believe in the power of every individual to make a difference. Visit wearestarfish.org today and discover how you can be a part of the wave of change. Wearestarfish.org, because each one matters.
Give it up, yes, I'm ready. Give it up, feel the flames. It's bound to eat you. Hand up a beast of prey. Give it up, yes, I'm ready. Give it up, feel the flames. It's bound to beat you. Beat you at your own game.
Thanks for spending some time here at Story to Screen on KPEO World Community Radio. I'm your host, Eric Krefeld, and we're rocking the film world every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can download the app or listen live, or catch the replay at wearestarfish.org, because each one matters. Catch you next week on Story to Screen. Keep supporting film and music. It's the story we tell that matters.
It says my heart.
This radio is powered by Streamline, the superior internet radio hosting service that provides our SOCAN license coverage. Visit streamline.com for more.